With over 15 years of experience in the criminal justice system, today's guest has a master's in social work. She is a life coach and has advice that will make any day less stressful for everyone. Welcome to the show, Tabatha. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Toby. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Mirror Talk. I really appreciate your presence here right now, and I'm looking forward to learning so much from you. But one thing I'll first love us to talk about is about this criminal justice system. Like, what inspired you to work in the criminal justice system? How was your experience like, and what were some lessons that you learned from this system?
Yeah, so I got into the criminal justice system because my good friend, who's my brother, basically, he went in at 14 to the criminal justice system, and I knew he was a good guy. I loved him. Like we spend our life together, and I just wanted to be able to kind of understand him and understand the people in the justice system more. And I knew that he wasn't what he did, right? Because who we are isn't what we do. And so going into the criminal justice system and working as a diversion officer, working in probation and parole, juvenile detention, transporter, I've had a lot of various roles where people have made really poor choices and there were consequences. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to be able to help them understand and take this as an opportunity to figure out how they can kind of press restart. Prison is actually like a great place for people because they're finally getting maybe 3 square meals. They're, somewhat safe, honestly, in jail. And they just, it's a great time for them to figure out what they need to change in their life. And so I just wanted to be able to support them. So that's what got me into the criminal justice system. And some things I learned is kind of going back to that main point was like, we're not who we are is not defined by what we do. And that's the same for you, Toby, for me, right? And so many times, we mess up in life and there are bigger consequences for bigger things. But I don't believe everyone intentionally wants to end up in prison, right? Another lesson I've learned is that life is messy and complicated. But when you take a step back and when you have God in your life, honestly, you're able to get through anything. And I saw a lot of the prisoners who really leaned into their faith and they were able to get through things that no person would be able to get through.
Yeah. Wow. And how was it like for you at that moment, working closely with these prisoners? How was that experience like for you emotionally or, psychologically also?
Yeah, well, it was challenging. So initially I worked with men, and so they weren't sure what to do with me because I was 20 when I started in probation and parole, and they were wondering, like, who's this little girl that's telling me what I can and can't do? Yeah. And so I really had to build my confidence level and show them, like, yes, I was still learning. I wasn't going to pretend like I knew everything, but there were also rules and regulations, and I was going to uphold them, and they were going to push me around. And so I learned a lot about myself in that way.
Yeah, and all of us, relate this prison experience to our real life. Like, sometimes we find ourselves locked up in our own prison. How can we, break free from this prison that we set ourselves into? Like you said earlier, I love the fact that you said earlier that life could be messy sometimes and we make big mistakes, and these big mistakes, comes with some consequences also. But sometimes we cage ourselves in our own prison and we don't know how to break free from this prison. Can you maybe enlighten us on some ways we could break free?
Yeah. So the first one is to realize like what you did to get into that prison, right? So each person, they've got specific charges that are very clearly defined that they know why they were put in prison, whether they did them or not or whatever. So when we're in our own prison, we have to realize, okay, what are some of the choices that I made or choices that someone else made or just life in general? Like, how did I even get here? And almost kind of dissect it so that way they can kind of backtrack and see what was going on, right? Because we can
Yes.
only move forward when we realize where we're at. And so in order to realize where we're at, we really have to reflect.
Mm.
Another thing that we can do when we find that we're in our own prison is to just stop and like be still for a minute, right? If we just keep going and keep like, holding onto the bars and like fighting to get your way out, you're just going to exhaust yourself, right? This is an
Yes.
opportunity when you're feeling really like you're struggling in life and you just feel really trapped, is to be calm and to consider what your needs are, what your wants are, right? Figuring out what things in life you need to say no to, some things that you need to say yes to. And that way you can start figuring out how to get out of your own prison. I don't believe it's just there's a door and you walk through it and you're miraculously like free. I
Yeah.
think it's an ongoing process and ongoing mindset shifts that we have to make in our mind to get out of that prison.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love the fact that you said you admitted that it's not a very fast process, right? It's not something that we start today and it's done tomorrow, but it's just a very slow process. It could take years, it could take some weeks, some months, I believe, and we have to be patient and calm. You said also like just pause and reflect and find out what is up and how you can let go of the past. I believe, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Ah, good. And so what part of what you said right now is like sometimes we have this chaos in our lives basically, and if we don't calm down to sort everything out, we could stay locked in this prison. It's like us just shaking the bar and we just get exhausted and give up on life basically. And that's one thing that attracted me to you actually, because I would love you so much to teach me about how to put order into my life, like how to sort out the chaos in my daily life. And it's so wonderful because you're a life coach and you help people to get their daily life on track. So you are the perfect person to teach me
Yes.
this right now. So can you
Yes.
can you tell us how we can do this? How can we put order into our daily life? How can we remove that chaos and become much more clear in our plans for the day?
Yes. So the first thing that I always suggest my clients do, and I'm not going to ever force anyone, right? As a coach, I can provide opportunity and everyone gets to make their own choice. So it's bookending your day. In order to create order, you need to have when it begins and when it ends. And being able to have a certain time that you go to sleep and a certain time that you wake up consistently not only helps your body, but it helps your brain too. Because so often we get decision fatigue of all the decisions that we're making throughout the day. But if we can have certain decisions that are already pre-made, we don't have to waste our brain's energy on that. And therefore, that creates more order because then it allows that middle of the day for you to have more brain power to figure out how can I organize and categorize all of the things that are being thrown at me, because everyone's life has different things that are thrown at you. As much as you want to be scheduled or planned, life happens. So when you start and when you finish is really, really important.
Yes.
I'm sorry, there's going to be a really loud sound real
Okay.
fast. I didn't
Yeah.
realize they're going to be coming. I hopefully paused long enough that we can edit this.
No problem. We'll just pause. Is that the garbage collector?
They're spraying for mosquitoes. We have really bad mosquitoes here in Minnesota.
Wow. No problem.
Sorry.
We'll just wait. We'll just pause. No problem. It's fine.
Okay.
It's good. But I'm enjoying the conversation so far. It's like, so amazing.
Oh, good. Good. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Can you hear me clearly? Is the audio okay? Is everything fine?
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
great.
For sure. It's just my lovely friend out there getting all the mosquitoes away.
Yes. It's better. I think in this time of the year, there are a lot of mosquitoes, I believe. So it's good that they spray them off.
Yes. We live on a lake, and so there's a lot of them.
Yeah. They get to breathe in the water and then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear it very much in the background?
Yes, I heard it, but we are not recording, as in we are not talking when I heard it. So
Okay.
yes.
Sounds good. I think. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that. Yes.
Okay. We may just have to wait a minute.
Yeah. But now it's quiet.
Is it good? Okay, I can hear, but
It's
if you
good.
don't, then that's fine. Okay,
It's
so we were
good.
talking about order. Okay.
Yeah, you can go on, please.
Oh, I can go. Okay, let's see. So another way that you can create order in your life too is by knowing your needs versus your wants, right?
Mm,
So when
mm,
you know what you need, like those are the things that build your energy up and the things that take away your energy.
yeah.
When we are constantly going throughout the day, or like a phone, right? Like the battery eventually drains. And so
Yes.
we need to be able to recharge ourselves, and we need to
Mm,
know what those needs are, because you'll like for what you need, Toby, it's different for what I need in order to
yeah,
recharge my energy. And
that's true.
so being able to figure that out, almost just writing it out on like a list on your phone. And
Mm,
so that way you're like, oh man, I'm feeling kind of drained. Like I'm going to go to my list on like the things that help give me energy. You know, is
mm,
it reading a book? Is it exercising, taking a nap, drinking some water? Whatever those strategies are, it's so important to do that. Another element is knowing what drains your energy. So me being around a lot of people drains my energy. So I know I need to schedule in a little bit of time after big public appearances
yeah.
in order just to kind of get reset. And
Mm,
so that helps me maintain order in my life, because then I'm not feeling like I need to say yes to a bunch of things or no to a bunch of things and miss out on
okay.
opportunity. That I'm
Yeah.
able to be very intentional about the choices that I make,
Mm-hmm.
because having order in your life is all about just being intentional and putting
Mm.
in your life what it is that you want.
Yes, I love that because it will be very difficult to separate between our needs and wants. And maybe Tabata, maybe could help us with that. Like, how can we separate our needs from our wants? How can we identify them also?
Yeah, so for a need, it's kind of based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? We've
Mm,
got food, shelter, and water. Every single person needs those basic three things. Those are needs. It's just kind of like the stability in your life. It's foundational, what you build on. A
mm,
want is the fun things that like color in life, that give it pizzazz, that are the things that you dream about and your desires. So you
yeah.
have to have those needs met first in order to have those wants be stable and being able to build upon. Now, your
Mm,
needs may shift throughout the seasons of your life, like when I
mm,
was, single versus being married versus having kids or not having kids. Like
mm,
my basic needs slightly shifted,
yeah.
but they were kind of the same. But my wants and desires, all those very much changed. So just kind of allowing yourself to dream and know what you want is just so important.
Yeah, that's good. Earlier you talked about us setting like some routines into our lives, basically, like in order to save our energy. For example, we have to always know how we want to go through our day, like schedule our days. If I understood that properly. So is it possible for you to share your morning and evening routines with us? Like, how can we schedule our morning time better and our evening time better so that we could save energy, at the beginning of the day and the end of the day? So,
Yeah. So I always suggest everyone work on your evening routine first, which a lot of people
mm,
talk about their morning routine. But the thing is, your evening routine sets you up for the success of your morning routine. So
mm,
it's really important to make sure that you are on like screens right before bed. And everyone's different. I get really overstimulated by looking at things and watching shows. So I need to have some time to just listen to some calm music. So I will, about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, I will stop whatever show I'm watching and I will go and turn on some really calm instrumental music. And I don't listen to music with lyrics, because then I'll start thinking about the lyrics. So I just want instrumental, like relaxing, right?
mm,
And then as
mm,
a woman, I have like, 50 lotions and like cleansers and stuff that I use. And
mm,
so I just allow myself that time to get ready for bed. I always wear pajamas. And I know this sounds silly, but for a lot of women, we wear like athleisure clothes during the day, like yoga pants and sweatshirts,
yeah.
which are comfortable. And so a lot of women will just get in bed wearing that. But the thing is, our brain gets confused because it's like, I was wearing this all day being active. Now you want me to lay down and sleep in it. Like being able to put on your pajamas tells your brain, hey, I'm going to get ready for bed and this is okay. She's going to like calmly, give me some time to, shut my brain down. And it just allows you more time to just create that peace that you need in order to fall asleep. I always have a book that I'm reading, a fun book. I've tried reading like self-development books, but then I just start thinking too much. I'm like, I need to do this, and I should change this in my life. I need to edit this in my life. Yeah. So, and then I read a book, and then it's lights out. So we don't have a TV in our bedroom, and I plug my phone in either in the bathroom or really far away. So that way, when the alarm goes off, I have to get up out of bed in order to turn it off.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's my evening routine.
So when you wake up in the morning, how do you, spend the first hour or the first 2 hours of the day then?
Yeah, so my morning routine starts at 5. Every day I wake up at 5 o'clock. The weekends, sometimes I'll sleep in a little bit, but my body is just used to waking up at that time. And again, this is just kind of honoring the systems and the flow of our body. You'll probably find too, when you're on a schedule, that you'll get hungry during certain times as well, because our body just gets these habits and then it doesn't have to think about it, right? So I get up at 5, and then I always put on my workout clothes, because my goal is to always kind of work out first thing in the morning. Otherwise it doesn't get done. And so then I brush my teeth, because that also wakes me up. Then I go get some hot water with lemon, which I just love. It kind of hydrates my body after not having anything for 8 hours of sleep. And then I do my quiet time with the Lord. I read a devotional, I read the Word, and then I journal. And so that usually is kind of my cluster of things that I do, whether I travel or not. And I travel about every 4 to 6 weeks. So I will take my morning routine and even my evening routine, and they are the same whether I'm at home or not. And I know that's a lot of times what can hold people up. They're like, well, I travel a lot, or my kids, or this or that. If you want something, it may be hard, but you can get there and create these routines in order to help yourself get to the goals that you want.
Yes, I think you just answered the question that dropped in my mind. I wanted to ask that what do you do when you have disruptions, for example, for example, traveling, or maybe the kids, or you get more kids, or you get visitors in the house, for example, and you have to wake up super earlier than normal, or what do you do when you have those kind of, disruptions in your routines?
Yeah. So it's hard, because we host a lot of people too. But I still get up at the same time. My goal, what makes me excited, how I'm competitive, is to beat everyone else up. I love being the first one to wake up. I feel like I win the day. So that's always the thing, is no matter what you've got going on, whether you're traveling or your kids, you kind of know when your kids are going to wake up. You'll know what your schedule is when you travel. So just wake up an hour or two before that and allow yourself that time, or however long you want your morning routine to be. It just takes some preparation and trusting yourself that you can do it. There's no such thing as a night person or a morning person. They're just choices and habits and routines that we make. And so you are able to create those however you want.
Yes. And how do you think all of these routines and habits set us up for success? How do they contribute to our success in life?
Well, there are a lot of distractions in the world, and our thoughts and our emotions can be all over the place. And so if we have our mind set on a goal, right? Someday you're going to wake up and you're not going to feel as excited, right? Other times you're going to have distractions of people needing your attention, getting more projects, more things going on in your life. And when you have these routines, your brain doesn't have to think so hard on what it needs to do. It can just operate. So then that brain power is used to solve the problems to get you to your goal. Those also free up more time. Just think about how you feel in the morning when your alarm goes off, and then you're like, should I stay in bed? Should I not? Should I stay in bed? And then you press snooze. How much time do you waste at night, right? Or in the morning? And then at night, if you don't have a certain time that you always go to bed, then you're like, should I go to bed now? Should I watch another show? Should I read another chapter? Then you're not able to number one, get the energy that rest provides. But then you're just using all that brain power with those silly little decisions that can just be made beforehand.
Yes. Okay. So once we can save that energy, we can use that energy for something else that would, help us succeed in life. Yes. Yeah. That's very smart. Yeah. And yeah, of course. I mean, once we can, save as much as possible, energy, from decisions that could be set down already, then we have more energy to maybe do more things during the day. For example, we have more energy to get more rest also, or we have more time to get more rest, to get more energy to win the day also.
Yes, and sometimes you need that energy to get rest, right? You need that energy to force yourself to just sit down, or to give yourself permission to sleep a little bit longer. Like sometimes you need energy for rest.
Yeah, that's good. But if someone comes to you, Tabatha, and says, okay, please, can you help me? I would love to, cultivate some new habits or some new routines in order to become successful in life. Like, what are some habits that you could suggest? What are some routines that you could also suggest?
Yeah, well, I know the cop-out answer is like, it really depends on the person. But really kind of knowing who that person is and what they value is really important. Having structure in my life is like a value of mine. Like I need that in order to feel safe and secure. There are a lot of people that freedom and spontaneity is really important. So being able to create a routine that's going to be helpful in your life is so important, to know your own personality and to know, like, I can't do things that are that like defined and like planned out, because it doesn't work for my personality. So for example, some of my friends who are more like free for all, right? They have like a bedtime range. Like maybe they don't go to bed at a certain time, Monday through Sunday. Maybe Monday through Friday when they work, they try to go to bed around a certain time. And then on the weekends, they just kind of let themselves, go to bed whenever it is. And then they allow themselves naps, it's just kind of how you want to compensate. Another way to kind of create order, when you kind of have more of this like freedom and you just want to like be spontaneous, is to kind of almost plan the spontaneity, which sounds counterintuitive, but it's amazing how much time can be wasted if you aren't intentional about it. And the thing is, most of us have very jam-packed schedules. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but when you do, if being spontaneous is what fills you up, plan it in. Like plan a day, plan an hour, however much time you need in order to do that. Because every person is so different in what they need in order to kind of get to that next step in life.
Yes. But what are like some things that we definitely have to avoid? Like things that could sabotage our success in life? Like, are there like some specific things that, we have to keep our fingers off in order to become successful?
So some of the things that people need to avoid, is that what you're asking?
Yes,
yeah. In life? Well, goodness, there's a long list, right? Let's talk more about the things that drain your energy, right? I am very much a loyal person. I want to do things that I'm responsible for, and I will do things out of obligation. The problem is those completely zap my energy. The more I do the shoulds, right? The obligations. So the things that you should not do, which I'm using that word again, is the things that you find that are draining yourself, right? But you're doing it out of obligation. Now, as a mom, as a wife, there's certain things that I don't want to do or have to sit through, but you know what? Those are commitments. So then you need to consider what your commitments are and then what the responsibility is, and realize, you know what? Am I doing this thing? Am I spending time with this one person that drains me because we've been friends since 6th grade? Why are you still hanging out with them if like you don't get anything from the friendship? And that may sound harsh, but the thing is, you only have so much time in your life. You only have so much energy. And if you're pouring it out onto someone and you are just getting drained, then you're not really able to kind of move even forward in that relationship, because you're not able to show up as yourself because you're so drained. So those are some of the things to kind of avoid. It's just kind of really understanding what drains your energy and not do them, and or do more things to build you up. So maybe there is a friend that you've had since 6th grade, but it's really important that you keep that relationship. Okay, well then also make sure to have friends that fill you up, that don't drain you. And then maybe see that another person on that same day that really builds you up.
Yes, I love that so much. After this conversation, I'm going to, go and look at the areas of my life that there are like some holes or some leakages in, so I can fill them up so my energy will not be drained. And afterwards, then I'll, look at the people that, build me up so that I can also, become a much more better person, also like gain more energy from them, and also hopefully also help them to gain more energy too. Yeah. That's good. That's very good. I know you're a mom. I mean, you're a girl mom. Like, you have girls, and you also you have a busy life also, and you travel also, like you said already. How do you create order in your life with all of this schedule? Like, everything, you have to take care of your family, you have to take care of your business, and you have to do everything that you do, and you do everything perfectly well. How do you do that? How do you create order?
Well, that's a good question. The first thing that comes to my mind is delegation. There's no way I can do all of this by myself, right? We have a house that we like very clean. So I have a housekeeper that comes once a week, right? My girls have chores in order to kind of keep the house flow going. My husband and I constantly communicate on what the expectations are of each other. And every Sunday we have a weekly plan. So we'll talk about like what days he's working late, like what days I'm taking kids to school, days he is taking them to activities, and we'll do it all on one day and one sitting. And we've been doing it for so long now, it goes by super quick. And that really does create order because it helps me figure out, it helps me meal plan, it helps me know like driving time, if we can have more friends come over, or if we need to have kind of a quieter week. It really just helps us those Sunday planning sessions.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that I do in order to keep order in my life.
That's good. One thing I told you, before we started recording, is that I love the fact that you're also a Christian, and I was going through your website and I found that you quoted Galatians chapter 5 verse 22 to 25, and I could maybe say 22. Verse 22 says, but the Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruits in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Like, can you maybe explain to us how we could apply this fruit of the Spirit into our lives, and how we could make use of all of these, characteristics also to become better people in our lives?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's no way that any of us can operate at a super high level and sustain it and be happy and joyful without the Holy Spirit. And we get that through Jesus, right? Who died for our sins. And so being able to tap into the fruit, right? And it's like one whole thing that we have in us. It's not just one thing at a time. It's like a whole fruit basket we have in us that we have access to. Now, are we good at all of them at the same time? Nope,
No.
not at all. However, when we're intentional about it, we can get better. And so there's been times in my life where I have wanted to work on being more gentle. And so I would literally put a timer on my phone, and 9:00 a.m., a little timer would go off, and it would just be the word gentleness. And it would have me think about, okay, what am I doing now? How can I be more gentle in whatever situation that I'm in? And that really, you can do it for any of those fruit of the Spirit, right? You can just put that word there and just filter your life through. If I were to be more joyful, how would I respond? If I were to be more faithful in this situation, what types of things would I be thinking about? What types of things would I not be thinking about? And the only way that we're going to be more Christ-like, which is the whole point of us being here on this earth, is to honor Jesus and to be like him, is to realize that we have the power within ourselves, and we can access those fruit of the Spirit and be intentional with it. And it's so interesting. we try to do it on our own. I'm guilty of it all the time, but it's amazing when I like give it to the Lord and I'm like, hey, I'm really struggling being gentle with my kids. Like, I just want to kind of get on them for things. I need to like be soft and loving.
Yeah.
The shift that happens is just beautiful, and it's not immediate. It definitely takes time. But then I realized, oh man, like I responded a lot. Like I was able to give myself more time before I responded. And that is like showing progress. And so I just encourage anyone who's working on like edifying those different fruit of the Spirit is that it takes time, but ask the Lord to help bless that, and He will.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like, if we're able to apply all of this into our lives, do you think we'll be able to reach our full potentials in life, or what do you think we can do in order to reach our full potentials in life?
Well, in order to reach our full potential, again, it goes back to Jesus, right? Like loving Him and having Him work in our life. But we really have to know who we are. We have to know what we're working with. It's almost like going to do a project outside and you don't know what tools to use. You don't even have instructions. You just have like a bunch of things. Like you need to be very specific on what it is, who you are, like what tools do you have? What are your strengths? What are your values? And what are your belief systems? The things that are driving you forward and the things that are holding you back.
Yeah, that's good. So wonderful. Tabatha, thank you so much. I've learned so much from you already. Like I've learned how to, set my life in order. For example, I've learned, habits, I've learned routines, and now I've learned about the fruit of the Spirit even much more better than before. And now I'm having this determination and this goal, to become a better person, basically. But sometimes when we face reality, sometimes we our focus gets derailed, for example, or we get we lose our focus, basically. How can we stay focused and consistent on our path towards achieving our goals in life?
Man, staying focused is really hard in this day and age because we talked about distractions, right?
Yes.
So we need constant reminders. So if there's a goal specifically that you're working towards, make sure to always like be able to see it and read it. A lot of the self-help gurus will tell you like write out your goal every single day. And as silly as that sounds, it does work because then it just reiterates. It keeps you in the front of your mind because it doesn't matter how excited we can be about something, we can literally forget about it because of some shiny distraction that we need to endure. So it's just really important to continually remind yourself what your goal is and what your why is behind it, right? So when we have a compelling why that we're excited about, whether it brings us passion or we're trying to avoid pain, it will drive us to make those choices to get us there.
Beautiful. That's awesome. So we just have to have those constant reminders in our mind, on our phone, everywhere possible, that yes, stay focused. This is what you want to achieve. You want to be much more gentle. Set a reminder for gentleness on your phone. Yeah. You want to become much more loyal, right? Loyal. Yes. And every day, I think you're right. I mean, once we are able to visualize it every time and it stays, in our sight, basically, then we are reminded of it constantly that yes, this is what you want to do. Don't forget about that. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. So, your website is tabathaperry.coach, and it's filled with so much information. I'm going to place the link in the show notes of this episode. I encourage everyone to click on it and get across to you. And you offer a lot of, programs. You have the book club. You have, one-on-one exclusive coaching. You have some special events also. Like, can you tell us more about all of this wonderfulness that you offer, and how can people get across to you, contact you, work with you?
Yeah, so anyone can reach out to me at tabathaperry.coach or connect at tabathaperry.coach. You can email me, and I'd love to talk more about what it is like you specifically need, because each person has different desires, different wants and needs, and so my job is to help you figure out what that is and get you to your destination, to your goal.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I know you work especially with women also, like you help women to become, organize their lives and their routines too. So can you I think your book club is also for women only, right? Or is it for men also?
Yes. Yep, for
Ah,
women.
okay. For
Mhm.
women also. So, I mean, how can people sign up to your book club? Is all the information on the website, or are there some ways that people from all over the world can also join the book club?
Yes. Well, right now it's actually on pause. And so there would be a
Ah,
waiting list. So emailing me would be able to get you on that list for sure.
mm,
But the other ones, it's you would just sign up for a call with me where we can connect and talk. And so you can
yes.
also access that on my website as well to
Yeah.
just quickly schedule a time that works and it's convenient for you. And then we're able to talk about what it is that you're wanting.
Awesome. Wow, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. Thank you so much, Tabatha, for everything you taught me in this episode. I really appreciate the time you spent, to explain habits and routines and also to talk about the fruit of the spirit also with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so, so much.
Oh, thank you, Toby. This has been fun.